want my hair to look like? Okay, so I Googled Christy Brinkley. Let me just figure out where I'm going to go here. Okay, low impact and toning. Let's just start off with your body in motion here, knees up, and I'll get into story time. So if you've not seen Christy Brinkley lately, and I don't even know when this picture was taken, but I find her just to be a classic, a beautifully classic woman, right? Same with Sophia Loren. Like I wouldn't say the list is long, but there are a few women that I feel have aged so gracefully, with or without the, cosmetic enhancements. I think the last picture that I saw of Christy Brinkley, it looked like she'd had a little something done, but it was subtle. Okay, but it's her hair. So I screenshot the picture and taking it to my girl today. I'm like, that's what I want my bangs to look like. So it's a long sweeping bang, and ultimately I know I will get there. You might be feeling like your little legs like are starting to feel like they got lead weight at the end of them. That's what mine are feeling like. Let's take it back, change the action to your hamstring. And as I give you profile action, I want you to evaluate your body. If you can't get your hand to actually connect with the foot, that's okay. But I want to make sure that when your leg bends back, that the knee isn't coming kind of forward. I almost can't do it because my body's programmed. If your legs are too close together, your movement will be real wonky. So separate your stride. When you push the leg back, it's like the foot is stroking, right? So if you slow yourself down and you kind of take your toes like you're this rearing up, you want to feel the leg drive back. Okay. And because you don't want the knee to pop up, pull the belly in. It's like the whole thigh is pressing back while your heel is pulling up towards your bum. And with that focus, like driving down into the floor, you might find that it accelerates the leg up enough for you to get hand to foot. Push. 5, 4, 3, 2, step touch. Look around your space. Make sure you don't have anything in your way. I meant to bring my chair down. You may be substituting a ball or a chair for some of the stuff, but just make sure nothing's in your way. So think box. Right now you are doing one line of your box. You are going to do step touches. You get to choose your direction of rotation. So let's do 4, 3, 2, quarter turn, 4, 3, 2, quarter turn, 4, 3, 2, quarter turn, 4, 3, 2, take it back so that you're squared up to the front. So that was one full range and about 16 step touches, ready to take it the other way. Go now, quarter turn, 4, 3, 2, turn, 4, 3, 2. The thing about just having you rotate your body, spend enough time in each rotated position so you don't feel like you're dizzy, right? So back to knee lifts, pull, power up. Can you maintain your wide leg stride and get hand to foot without your body kind of folding in the middle into this motion? Even if it's not hand to foot, but it's hand to knee, that would be better for you to stand up tall. And now kick it back. Remember, stroke, push back. This is a little bit more like aggressive because when we do back body movements, we have a lot of restriction in the front. So it makes that limb harder to get to. 5, 4, 3, step touch, calm yourself. So now you're going to do your box again. but I want you to think about creating space so that as you do your rotation, you're not kind of pivoting in this in this little spot. I've got these X's on my carpet, and I want you go ahead and do your rotation. As you come into your next rotation, I want you just to think about rotate now. I want you to think about your box getting bigger, okay? Rotate now, right? So that you're no longer in the center. Rotate now, right? You're taking up more space. Get ready, change direction. Go, you're doing 4, 3, rotate, right? Make the box bigger, right? Rotate, try to take up space so you're moving around. Rotate, this is your last, brings you back into the front, and relax. Okay, shake, shake, changing tempo, shake. Want you to feel like you're a little puppet, right? And someone's up there like pulling on your strings, and that though you might not feel like your body really wants to move fast, look at your hands, wrists and ankles, hands. The wrist can flip like this. They can flop up and down. Your elbows don't have to be high, but I want you to feel like your knees are soft, shoulders are relaxed, and like you just have somebody pulling strings that's making your elbows, knees, ankles, hands do crazy things. 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. Grab your light set of dumbbells. I'm still using soup cans. So if that's what you're doing, soup cans, water bottles, 1-pounders, 2-pounders, I dare say, I don't think anybody should be using more than 3s would be really pushing it. Okay. I feel like I'm really strong and I'm opting for 1.5s. Okay. So here we go. This is going to look like a very wrong version. Ordinarily, when we pull our arms apart, right, that's a lateral raise. But what we're going to do is try to get the arms to make this W. So they come to the center, the elbows kind of are tacked down into the body and then float up. And when they float up, your hands, you're trying to pull your hands back to be in line with the shoulder, and the inside of your elbow is like pushing forward, and that is rotator cuff work. So it should feel awkward. Float in, pull back. If you're like, oh, looking from my right to my left hand, like that actually is an angle of a W. If you have a mirror that you can go put yourself in front of, right? Stand there. The elbows are tacked down. The chest is lifted. Buns are tight. 4 more. Walk around your space. 4. When you get to your opened position, draw the shoulder blades down if they're not already there. Inhale. This doesn't look like it should be challenging, but it is now. You're in your W. Push. This would represent a Y, right? This is T. Release. Ready? Some of you remember that you've been on the ball with me where we've been in forward lean, feet are pushed on the wall. We've been doing like the Superman Ys. I've had you on the bench to do that. So W, push for Y, open for T, release. You do not have to stay put. W, abs tight, neck is pulled back. Push the arms for your Y. Open them for the long T and release. Give it to me again. Elbows are anchored. Float the hands up. W. Drive it. Y and T. Do one more, right? Float it for your W. Chin up, right? Push for that good clean Y. Pull it open for your T. This time you're staying in T and turn the palms up. I want you to soften your elbows, okay? And you're doing a lowering of about 3 inches is all, right? And the arms it's really important that your arms are not hyperextended. So I want you to hold your bells really firm. I want you, when you pull your arm down, it's like you're pulling your elbow towards the midline of your hip and squeeze whatever you're holding really firmly as you pull down. Pull, and you're getting ready to shift the angle forward, push forward, pull back, push, pull, push. It's like you're sliding a tray, right? Slide the tray forward, draw it back, slide and draw. 5, 4. Get ready to stand on one leg. So I want you to pick your leg, right? Take the other foot. First, release the arms. So your other foot, if possible, you're in front, so you're in this nice, clean, straight line. But as the body might really resist that, just know that you can take this front foot and be a little bit wide if that's what you need. But what I want you to do is tap, tap, tap the leg. Arms up, standing really firm on your trailing leg. Squeeze the bun, open the arms, get them to T, turn the hands palms down, release the arms. This is like, keep going. Okay, you're going here, flipping, go up, bring it halfway, flip, go down, because I'm getting ready to tell you story time. Your leg tapping and your arms moving is like you patting your tummy with one hand and rubbing your head in a circle with the other hand. This is it's a brain teaser. Getting back to our popular word, right, is neuroplasticity. If you're not in the same rhythm of arm movement with me, don't worry about it, right? You know that you're doing you. Shoulders roll, the hands release, squeeze the bun, lift the arms to T. Maybe this is as far as you go, because when you roll up and lift up, your shoulders are saying, stop that. If that's what your body's telling you, then stop that and release. Walk out of it. Get ready, switch sides. Here we go. Figure out, where does your leg need to be, right? Can you put it in front? As soon as you put it in front, your body is like really having to make an adjustment. So now, tapping, maybe your tap is at a slower speed. Maybe you cannot lift the foot and tap because you can't control the balance. Then just keep your foot on the floor. Movement number 2, bring it up, big stretch, squeeze the bun. I've increased the tapping leg position here. Bring it down. As the arms come down, push your shoulders down, squeeze the butt cheek tighter on your stance leg. And I want the arms really long. They're not floating back. Stop them at the middle of the hip line in this rigid position. Raise up, raise up, raise up, raise up. Belly to spine. I've got my leg going pretty quickly now. Push the arms out. You're reaching the arms as if someone's standing there just out of reach to you, right? Push shoulders down, belly to spine, squeeze them back, release and relax. Walk it out. Set those down. Do you have your ball handy? I hope everybody's got their ball handy. If you don't have a ball handy, then grab your chair. Okay. So let's take a moment. As soon as you sit down on the ball, if your body says, yeah, I want to bounce, then do a few bounces. Be okay with that. Okay, I'm going to get settled in. We're going into leg extension. Right? Push. So on the chair version of this, you don't have the balance component, right? But on the ball, as soon as you pick up that foot, if your spine is in C curve, though you can lift your leg, you might be like real squirrely on the ball. So if you're feeling like you have a lot of like shifting hip position, All that means, okay, is that you're being too timid. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. You're in charge. Tense your body as if you were getting ready to stand up off the ball. That gives you a little bit more control. When you go into something kind of in like a wilted position, it reinforces, if you have any insecurities about you on the ball, it reinforces those insecurities. So we want to break through that and put you in your position of command, and your body is going, okay? If anybody if well, you probably haven't, you may have been in the live class that I did where I was making this statement, and I cut out little blips of it and put it on, I call them my Facebook teasers, right? So I cut out this segment, I edited down a segment of video. Hold. You're just holding. Remember, as soon as your body goes into wilted position, you might be able to recover balance wise, but it's really you having thrown the towel in. Don't throw the towel in. You're only here for a few more seconds. Okay. So the part of the video that I edited down to that says, you're in charge and your body is coming along and you're in charge and you're connecting your parts. That was part of my little Facebook trailer, right? Because that's how important I feel like switch legs. I feel like you literally have to keep establishing to your muscles that they don't get to go and do willy-nilly what they want to. You get to go, no, this is how you're going to fire up, right? Like that. You're going to fire up because I'm so in control that my mind is telling my quadricep to be active and release. Because if those are not part of your thoughts, then you're missing out on so much of your workout. Okay, here we go. That sounds really weird, right? Like, how can you be present going through the exercises and then hear me say you're missing out on some of the most valuable part of your training, right? Hopefully you got on the ball just as smoothly as that. Walk it out. When you get into this walked out position, you want your chest to be pulling up away from the floor. And you don't go further than what you feel like your hands, wrists are able to do. And we're all going to come back and we're just going to roll back and we're going to relax. Maybe the knees touch the floor. That would be fine. Stay with me, okay? So Marlene, I realize that you're not going to do the next part of this. You're just going to hang out, maybe hang out with your knees off the floor. But the rest of you, can you relax your feet? Whee! Up, squeeze, sit back down, lean into the ball. Get ready. Start your forward walk. Squeeze your buns. Each time you walk forward, you do not have to keep taking yourself further forward unless your body says, right? Unless your wrists indicate that they can take the load. As you walk back, nice and easy. Marlene, if you stopped here because you don't want to roll down on your knees, then pick up your legs and just flutter kick your legs while we go into the next phase of it. Actually, if anybody else following along can't and doesn't want to do this rocked back, hold the ball tight, pelvic tilt. Now thrust up, sit down, lean into it. So if you're not really wanting to do that whole seated hip thrust, then when we walk back, before your feet touch the floor, you just level yourself out, do your flutter kicks, and wait for us to come back to you. Lay the tops of the feet down. This is just the seamless fluid motion. Parts are getting active, right? That's 3 of 5. Here we go. push. Maybe you're like, oh, I feel so strong. I want to add into it. And you pull the ball forward. The reverse walk is actually the hardest part of this from a balance standpoint, right? Touch down, lay the feet out, pull that ball to you, squeeze, hip thrust up, belly to spine, sit it down. This is your last one. Forward, push, 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 push. If you're like, oh, I was really interested on what she did on that last repetition, tuck knees, push out, walk it back. You've got to finish with your hip thrust, or you stop short and you do your little leg flutter kicks. Okay, here we go. Last one, make it good. Now, don't just raise up, scoop. So go into pelvic tilt, scoop the hips, press through. That's your squeeze position, and release. Help yourself up. Moving the ball, grabbing a little swig of water if you need it. Now, I'm going to be using two dumbbells, different weights. Muscle confusion. So if I had a 5, that would be ideal. But what I have is an 8 and a 10. So I'm going to go with that. Some of you have been in the gym with me where we have been trying to kind of break through a little barrier. And what do? We give one arm a lightweight and we give the other arm the heavyweight, and it's a muscle confusion here. Okay, so think bicep curls. Tuck the elbows into the body line, squeeze your buns, stand up really firm. So if your legs are locked and you're now in a hyperextension and it's throwing the abdomen forward and you've got to pinch through that lumbar, you can soften your knees, right? So that you release the pressure through the low back. 5, 4, 3, 2, release the arms, squat, stand up. And now I'm going to move back so that we can see my full body line. Okay, I've got my legs together. As I squat, I'm not trying to bring my chest to my thighs. There's just a natural stop point. Granted, I would like for my down to be deeper, but my ankles restrict that. So as you lower yourself down, unless your body continues to come, you will just get a few inches and everything will just stop. That's your lowered phase. Pull up. One more. Knees together. The hands essentially are sliding down and they're staying kind of in line with the mid-thigh position, right? And up. So now I'm not going to set these on the floor. I'm going to put these on a table or my sofa. So I switch the weights around to the other side. And we're off and running. Back into your hammer curl, right? Push, pull. If you don't have 2 sets of weights and you've got both hands holding 5s or 6 or 8s, maybe 5 pounds is even too much. Maybe you're just happy without any weight because you're happy to be doing the class and you're like, I don't want to tax myself, but I absolutely want to move. Then just as if you're holding something, go through the movement of really clean push down, pull up for 5, 4, 3, 2, release the arms. Okay. Second set, slightly different squat. Go into a comfortable plie. Some people, I'm going to show you an extreme. If you turn your feet out too far, right, then what will happen is you'll put a lot of pressure on the inside of that knee. So that's why it's off center, right? So if you were squared up, just swivel them a little bit, And now you're going to let the dumbbells come right in through the middle. Push them together, draw it down. Like you have a wall that you're trying to keep your upper back against. You can't help but to have the booty go back, right? So you see how my shoulders are not exactly sitting on top of my hips? I can get them there with, maybe you can too, maybe that's your preference. That feels a little forced to me. So shoving my fanny back and letting my trunk have a slight forward angle, I'm good with that. This is what I'm not good with, okay? That's a great position for like a sumo squat deadlift, but that's not what we're going for today. So you got about 5 more. Pick your position. More important than anything is to make sure that your knees follow the angle that the toes are going. That's probably stopping, looking. If you can't see your foot from the inside view, not the outside edge, if you can't see the inside of your foot as you lower, then your knees are not pushing open the way they're supposed to be. Do one more. Come up. Walk it out, set your heavy weights down. It's time to get our feet moving again. Okay, you decide, are you jogging in place? Do you have a little step, right? That you're gonna be doing your forward and back. If you were working on a step, you wouldn't be going this fast, okay? I've got my imaginary step down. So I'm actually getting into a forward and back push. 5, 4, 3, 2, switch legs. There it is. Push, pull. We're not trying to knock ourselves out where we then need a 3-hour nap after class, right? As soon as you get up and you're done with class, you should feel like your body is energized, that you've done a little bit for every part of you, and that nothing has been offended. This is an interesting thought. Release, relax, shake it out. Concepts, right? How do you not offend your parts, your joints, and your muscles so that they want to come back and do it again for you? Think about that context there. Have you ever been in presence with others where their energy is offensive to you, and then it causes you to then go, like, I don't actually really want to spend time in that environment? Apply that to what you do with your own body. Like, why would your body willingly be excited to do exercise that it finds offensive? So I hope as you do these things with me, and because you come back again and again and again, I kind of get the impression that we're not offending our bodies with what we do. Release and relax. And that is huge. I got to take a swig of water. And it really is going to be just a swig because Marlene got the vinegar thing going. All right. Ball or chair. I'm going to stay in a side position. If you're sitting on your chair, you're going to sit right at the front edge of your chair. You're going to hollow your middle out for your C curve, and you're going to recline until you feel a little load in the abdominal wall. For us on the ball, we're going to set up slightly different, okay? So if you're on the ball, I want you to walk forward with your feet just a little bit. Try to get yourself into a reclined position, but not into a walk that supports your shoulders. Okay, so here we go. There's a happy medium where you're laying back with the intention of getting ready to roll up, because that's what I want you to do. Drive your hips down, push your feet into the floor, and roll up. Now, I'm going to back my feet up. There's a sweet spot, okay? There's a sweet spot where even us on the ball. So if you're on the chair, you're going to find a rhythm with us, right? So round, so go into C, take the ball moves towards the calves a little bit, and we lean back, maintaining C. If you're in the chair, you're doing this too, except your chair isn't moving. So for those of us on the ball, you get to let the ball push towards the backs of the legs a little bit, but not so much that the ball connects with the legs. S curve, C curve, and then recline. Pull up, C curve. If getting into the down and up transition is where your body meets up with that offended spot, then just pick your load and stay put, right? Pull up. Why don't we all try that? Arms, go into C curve. Be prepared to hang out here for a moment. Okay, so we're hanging out. We've done this before on the chair where we take our hands. It's really hard to stay put on the ball if you haven't put your mat down, right? Don't let the ball collapse in towards the feet. Keep pushing the feet. And all you're going to do is take your arms and you're trying to reach around, right? Connect 5, 4, 3, 2, center, drive it up. Whew. Forward roll. The ball gives you liberty to drive it back so the legs can get extended. If you're on your chair, you're in a slightly tighter leg position. If you're comfortably on the ball, right, and your elbows are on your thighs, and you want to just push and get this little rock going, do that. We'll do about 3 or 4 more of these, right? If your spine doesn't need extra support and it feels really good for you to just put your hands down, take the extra stretch. Do one more pushback. It's when the ball comes forward that you want to make sure those elbows get up onto those thighs, right? Pull yourself up, release and relax. Okay. Moving on. Triceps. I am going to stay with my lightweight. We're going to do 2 things for triceps. Our traditional kickback, right? And then we're going to get on the floor and we're going to do our side body using our body weight to kind of push ourselves up into a tricep press. But since I'm opting for the lighter weight, that means there's going to be a leg component here. Okay, so maybe your ball needs to come back into the equation for balance. Maybe it's your chair. Maybe you're going to just find something to rest your hand on. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use my balancing skill. So you're thinking tricep kickback. That's the arm move. Okay, can you set your body up into what's called stork position? We often use the chair for this. Okay. So I will keep doing profile for you. If your chair is in front of you and you're holding here, the working arm, elbow is up, the leg has got lifted tension line, and you're just trying to take that hand, push it straight back towards the hip, not necessarily high. Okay, so here we go. The neck is neutral, belly to spine. It's if we've got from the back of the head to the foot, everything is level. Push. Shoulder blades are pulling down the back. 2 more. Push. Last one. Release your movement. Stand up clean. Walk around your space. Even if you're using your chair or your ball, right? Just for the sake of visual and show and tell. If my ball was here and I'm moving into the next side, okay. You see, having the ball, the chair is fixed, The ball has that slight unpredictable aspect. So if you can't actually stabilize and be balanced all on your own accord, just giving yourself a little bit of support with the ball might be all you need to bridge the gap. Okay, so chamber the elbow and shoulder where it needs to be, right? Get your head and heel on the same plane and start your kickback. It's really focused for you to get your elbow on the working arm to go to its full extension, and for you to try to keep your knee on your lifted leg fully extended, right? Here we go. We got 5 more. 5. Bun is tight on a lifted leg. 4. Shoulders pulling out of the ears. 3. Inhale on bend. Exhale, push. 2. Last one. Push. Release and relax. Okay. We're going to get our feet going one last time to get that heart rate up. If you don't have a little ball, so many of you have actually used this hard, it's like a lacrosse ball. It's for that trigger point release. Okay, I've got that, which has a different bounce and just the regular tennis ball. But if you don't have the little ball, then what I want you to do is get your big ball, get your feet moving, right? And you're just doing these little bounces. Okay, so you have options. I'm going to do some of this with the little balls, and that might be enough. So feet are moving. You're doing an alternating hand. If you're using big ball, if you have 2 small balls, get ready, because like things are going to kick off. And I feel like I need to start collecting my little video segments of bloopers because there are plenty of them. Okay, so that unpredictable aspect of how high the ball is going to bounce, right? So now that we're in motion, can you move sideways, right? So you're just taking little steps, right? And then take it back down the line the other way, right? And now take it forward, push, push, pull it back, right? Go to the side, 5, 4, 3, 2, take it back to the other side. Whew. Go back to the other side. You're almost there. Go forward, push, pull, push, pull, go back, push, pull, and relax. What the ball just did for you, you had to so focus. The smaller the ball, the bigger the focus, but pattern changes, 2 different things happening with the body. We're going to the floor. You're done with your big ball. You're done with your little ball. Put your mat down. Remember I said we were going to do 2 moves for the triceps. We're going into side lying position. Okay. The balls, these small balls, keep ending up under the sofa. And sadly for me, it's like that out of sight, out of mind thing. So after having had the Rich's grandkids here, I was like on my hands and knees, just trying to get everything collected and put back in its place. And thus the discovery of the 2 balls that had been under the sofa. So as you come down, you may need a pillow, right? I'm going to grab my Eric's pad. I just feel like this is an awesome thing. Sooner or later, I've actually set up on my Facebook business page a shop. There's nothing in my shop yet, but like I think about all of the things that I use, you know, my mat, my Eric's pad, the stretch out straps. Like I actually do have a pretty good list of things that I guess could be sold from my shop, but currently, I haven't cataloged them. So I'll let you know when it's up and running. Not that I'm suggesting you buy anything. I'm just saying that though it might seem like nothing's ever happening, truly happening, is like small little stages of growth. Wow. It's this just sitting here should be making you slightly uncomfortable, waiting for me to move on to the next thing. It's getting ready to happen. Okay. So as you come down, your bottom arm is the arm that is going to be hugging you. The high hand halfway between where your elbow and shoulder are, that's where you want that high hand to be on the floor. So you're going to lean into the body, lean on so that bottom elbow can help you up if the top arm lacks the strength to get you here. The bottom elbow can also brace your lowering phase, right? And you can release. Pick up the top leg, lean into the working arm, that hand, and up you go. If you're not certain whether or not your hand can actually, the arm can do all the work, then don't let the bottom arm even touch the floor. And it will you'll notice right out of the gate whether or not you can get this working arm to its full extension. But I don't want you to strain. So that's why I'm prefacing this by it's okay to use the bottom elbow, right? It minimizes some of the workload. But again, what's our word of the day? Offended. We do not want to offend our parts just trying to get a workout in, right? Do one more. Push, release. So the legs are going to offset a little bit more. Twist your trunk towards the mat. Lean into it. Let that high leg or the trailing leg lift. Immediately, oh, that glute medius fires up. And you're going to say, but don't be distracted by that. You're doing a modified push-up. Push up, everything gets to release. Twist towards your mat. Don't let the arms travel too far forward or you'll be straining. Just ease down, up you go. Twist into the stretch, twist to the mat. Nose towards the floor, push away. Like it should almost make you go, okay, what gives here? This is slightly challenging, but yet it's doable, but awkward. And maybe the awkwardness of it is what really is more challenging than the actual exertion part of it, right? Do one more. Inhale on the twist. Exhale, get ready, drive it away. How about that little QL stretch right here? So we're just going to take those knees, stack them. If you're using your mat as kind of this visual reference for your body line, knees towards the front edge, bum towards the back. So we got a pretty tight angle happening here. And then your hand is in line with your hip, right? You're going to push the hand into the floor to give that body its nice propped up position. And we're going to take the top hip and the shoulder and we're going to square them, right? Which may cause this knee to slide forward, and that's okay. Raise the arm. Everything is like, it's like you're posing, okay? So this hand, look down, take the hand, go between the other hand and the hip, just minimally. That's all you have to do. And that's your QL. Shoulders are out of the ears. You're just holding. Inhale here. Stay here and exhale. Raise up. Twist. Belly to spine. You don't have to over rotate. It's just gentle. And release. Relax. All right. Swivel around. You on the other side, like you got, it's push work, Okay, so we're focusing on the push. Push work recruits chest, shoulders, and triceps, right? Where did we start? Lay on your bottom arm. The legs are stacked. The top leg is giving you a little bit of this momentum, right? So bottom elbow rose to the floor. That hand sits halfway between your shoulder and elbow. Put pressure into that hand, put pressure into your elbow and go, okay, get off the floor. Let the elbow connect, let the shoulder connect and release. Roll into it. And then the test is, do you actually need your bottom elbow to brace you at any point in the movement? That leg is just giving you this little bit of a drive it. If you push the leg to full extension, guess what's happening? Your hip abductor is working. Lengthen the leg, feel it for yourself. Make sure this arm is straight. Oh, that's just an awkward position for the body, right? Down, push, get there, take the leg, push like someone's pulling on your big toe, re-straighten the arm, down, one more, push, stretch the leg, push it, and down. Okay, ready? Get yourself back up, offset your legs a little bit. Think second push mode. All right. I don't know if you noticed from one side of my body to the other, this side sit for me here, it's doable, but I feel like it's somebody else's body that I'm seated on. I feel like this is mine and this is somebody else's tight, restricted hip. If that is identifiable to you, then wedge, put your wedge under you. It's instant relief. Nothing else about the movement has to be altered. Rotate, look at the mat, bring the hands down, but don't travel the hands too far. Let the trailing leg lift because it's like a fulcrum. The trailing leg lifts and the body gravity helps it like ease down. If you don't lift the back leg, your movement is not wrong. It just isn't like flowy the way it could be, right? So here we go. Twist, rotate, hands, nose to the floor, push away. What I love about these movements that are kind of abnormal, I'm classifying them as Michelle's methods, okay? So these are abnormal groupings of exercises, kind of stretches, right? But they're gentle. And not only that, is even if you had an arm that couldn't do the work, right? You just modify. So if it's the front shoulder that doesn't like the down, put your weight on the back arm. And you only go as far as you can. Test out which is it? Do you even have a shoulder problem? I want you to do a couple more because I want you to experience something with me. If you use one hand and you take the other hand and put it right on top of that hand, your strength will be there, right? Try it again. Other hand, put it on the floor, overlap the hands. I mean, how amazing is that? Release and relax. Maybe you're not amazed and impressed. I am. Pillow. Your pillow may not be needed for your bridging. Okay, I'll show you. When your hips are up, your neck is naturally in a more neutral position. Okay, so though your pillow is handy, let's not use it. Let's go ahead and get our back body nice and flush to the floor, like get everything settled in. Right? Lift your head, tuck your chin, like you're lifting your head, tucking your chin, and you're kind of looking at your navel and your pelvis area. You're going to make sure that your feet aren't too far apart. And then with the chin tucked, lower the back of the neck back to the floor. Now that should feel real uncomfortable. But as soon as you peel your hips from the floor, and the higher the hips go, the neck should just naturally transition to a real comfortable place. All right, so you just keep making your adjustments till you feel like you're neutral and flush and the hips are up. The hips don't even have to be super high, but I do want you to feel like your buns and your hamstrings are working. Okay, so belly is pulled in, you're in anchored ribs, your chin is drawn, and you're kind of looking through the chest. Here's something that I haven't mentioned for a while. If your middle body is bowing up, then you won't be able to see your thighs. Lower your hips a little bit and reset your pelvic tilt. And even if you only catch a little glimpse of your thighs, that's better than where you were a moment ago. Okay, so now arms are bent, your elbows are pressing down into the floor and the back of your triceps. So I want you to push the hips up without losing your pelvic tilt. You're still trying to reference this glimpse of your thighs. As soon as you lose that visual, you've probably bowed up through the ribs. So keep setting that middle back down a little bit and get a deeper concentration in the derriere. Press the arms into the floor. You pushing the arms into the floor is a leverage for you to get your butt higher, but not lose that rib anchoring. Oh, it's so complex. Okay, so your arms are now hard at work. March, march, march. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Don't look at the ceiling. Look at your knees. 5, 4, 3, 2. Set it down. Pull your knees in. Even with your best intention of being spot on with your pelvic tilt and glute activation, that does not mean that your low back did not get recruited for some of that. So when you pull your legs in, it should feel really like a great relief to your spine. And I shouldn't say spine, it really is low back. Okay, one knee stays in, the other leg is moving. Where are we here? Oh, I have plenty of time to reward your body with more fine activity here. So we know that your leg is light as a feather. Let's start with that known fact, right? And now, the degree that you're holding on to this other leg, that becomes what you're going to tinker with. Maybe at this point you're like, oh, I need my little pillow. Put your pillow under your head so that you don't have to fight the move. And here's where you get to start going, how hard do I want to make this for my phenomenal abdominals? If you're like, I only want to adjust a little bit, then I want you to take your hand and I want you to lightly hold the back of the thigh instead of across the knee. Get your shoulders out of your ears. Try to draw the shoulder blades back towards the floor. And if you want more challenge, then you're going to release your leg altogether. Okay. When your moving leg tracks down, that's when it's really crucial. As soon as you can get your bun to clench, that protects your low back. So there's a muscle synergy happening here, right? Isometric loading on one part of you while the other part is in motion. How do we move our leg and not move any other part of your body? Okay. Do 2 more on this side. Inhale up. The chin is neutral. The shoulders are out of the ears. As soon as you can get your bun squeezing, you'll know if you are, because you'll feel quad fired, abs working, and no back strain. Bring it up. Do 1 more. But remember, this is your light as a feather leg. So all of your muscles have to be engaged in order for the real work to happen. Pull the leg up, let your body relax. Feet are comfortably wide. Just let the knees do this little floaty side to side. It's like you're doing a less version of our windshield wiper stretch. We're not going all the way. We're just doing a little bit of rocking, which should feel like a great relief across the SI joint. Where is your SI joint? It's back there at the back of the hip, that little bony protruding structure back there, right? Bring the knees to center. Take a second, reestablish your neutral, pull them up, settle in. All right. When you pull your knees to the chest, sometimes so I use this word, okay? Sometimes your neck gets gobbled up, all right? Open from right shoulder to left shoulder. Open up the front of your body. One hand is going to hold the stationary leg, right? And then the other leg starts moving. Imagine I'm standing right next to you, okay? And what I'm looking at on you is how straight is the leg that's in motion. When the leg comes down, don't let the knee have that like soft, like limp limb, right? I want you to forcefully push that heel away from you as if somebody is attached to your foot and you're pushing them away, right? And now, with the more force you push into that leg, you might find that the hand that's holding the other leg actually clamps down even tighter. That's okay. It's when you let go of that leg that now your core muscles are working. Okay. So if you need to keep your fingers hooked behind the knee as a means of protecting your back, your elbows are still drawn down, right? The neck is long. You exhale as the leg lowers. As soon as you can get the butt cheek on the lowering leg to clench, enlist the help of that leg, squeeze. If you don't need your hands, the arms are extended on an angle away from the hips. You're looking at your foot, your knee, your thigh, your chin is in neutral, and you're just trying to make sure that you don't have any unnecessary movement. Do 1 more. Slower is so much harder. This is your last one. This is what we finish with, and then we go into Cobra for a lovely stretch. Holding and squeezing, get the shoulders out of the ears. I want you to feel your subscaps, so just below your shoulder joints, bones, right? Scapulas. I want you to slide them down. Pull the leg up. Release feet to the floor. Go comfortably wide feet so you can get back into your windshield wiper stretch. You've made it. You did it. This is just a nice little reward. And I want to hear your thoughts on my concept about the word offended parts. All right. Like, do you think that that's a good fit? Is that a good analogy about how you You want to gauge your exercise in relation to your body, right? Come into tummy down. I realize you might need to go, right? So if you don't have time to chime in, that's fine. Settle in, relax the tops of the feet, kind of work yourself into at least this initial propped up position. This might be as far as your body needs to go. If you want to go to the next phase, right? Figure out how far forward do you need to put your hands so that you feel a nice stretch, but no strain across the back. This is like a really tricky stretch to do, because sometimes when we meet up with this amount of resistance across the lumbar, like it's kind of scary. Like, how much resistance do you really push through? That is a personal thing, and that's where your red flag is going to show up. And so don't ignore the red flag. Like, you've got the caution, but is it red? Don't go to the red zone. Elbows down. Whew, that was enough. Help yourself up. Take your time. What's it going to be? How are you going to get up today? I'm just going to roll back into this crisscross sit. Ooh, it's not going to be pretty. Maybe you're already in your downward dog going, I'm not doing crisscross legs. I don't expect you to. This is just me trying to get my feet, knees, and hips to load. And with my ankle and knee, right? There is such a strange thing. I've intentionally put my right leg back because that's the one that goes with the knee that had the issue. No strain in the knee, but certainly a lost strength in the hip. Sometimes you don't need to know it all, right? I just want you to make sure that you understand my condition. I hope you guys